This time on the Quick Speed Shop, I'm putting the roof on the vintage backyard gas station build. It's happening behind me and it's starting right now. I'm a professional, don't try this at home. Okay, here we go. Gonna be putting the metal on the porch roof here. And I had a piece of plywood I was standing on while I did a whole bunch of cribbing boards across there to screw my plywood on for my sign stand here for the upper part. So I got all that done. We're going to start here. We're going to work the metal up. The panel is 12'6". It's going to overhang about 4 inches or so off the end of this. I have some trim down here which goes on the edge of this board, and it has a little flare here. Then there's a fascia trim that goes on. Usually I would put that on first, but if I slide the panels up over it, it tends to scratch it up, so I'm going to wait and not put that on. I can slip it under the panel once I have it on there, then use the panel screws to hold that on. So I'm going to leave that off. I can also lean the ladder up against the fascia here, no problem. But I've got the first panel marked out. I'm going to go ahead and get it and slide it up on here, and we'll see what happens. There we go. Well, that was painful. I'm going to have really bruised up knees by the end of the day, but I went and I've got the corner in. I put one screw in, and I can go down and I can square up the bottom of the roof panel to the edge of the roof and tag a screw in, and then I'll probably put 1 or 2 more in and get a second panel on and get that straight, and then screw them down and then work my way across here. So it's gonna be slow going for me. I can't believe I put that big roof on, but I did it all from the ladder through, which took forever. If I don't feel comfortable, I might do that because I'm not much for heights and falling off things. I'd much rather work off a ladder than work off something like this, unless I got a platform to stand on, then I'm fine. But if I gotta like work over holes, it makes me really really nervous and slow. So let me tag a couple screws in this and get another panel up on here, and we'll go from there. Bam, there we go. Got half the roof on now, and I'm short on screws. I ordered some. The metal place is like an hour and a half one way from my house, so I ordered some online. Hopefully they'll be here today or tomorrow. So in the meantime, I went and I put a layer of screws in the top, and then I skipped the girt or purlin that I did there. Then I skipped one that I did there. Then I'll do some at the end. So I don't want to run out of screws until I get more, but I can get right back up on here. And when I walk on the purlins, I can go out and walk out and put more screws in it. So I'm going to keep working along here, and got my plywood moved out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and that temporary post there is a halfway point, so I'm just about halfway. We'll go ahead and run this right out, and we'll take a look at it when it's done. But it's coming out good. Thankfully the wind's not very windy today. This would be a pain if it was, but it's looking good. I had to monkey around a little bit there in the time lapse. I saw I had to monkey around my roof. My porch must be out of square by about a 1/4 inch or so, and I lined the panel up to the roof, but it wasn't true up here. They were starting to run down there, so luckily I only put a couple screws in. I was able to cheat them all over, get them straight down there, straight up to the building, and then I got a big 5-inch wide piece of trim that goes over the edge, so that'll take up that 1/4 inch difference over there. That's the thing when you're doing metal roof. You want to be straight. You want to be all squeegee jaw, because then you'll get sawtoothing on your panels. I got it all straightened up now. And up here, this nailer, there's going to be a piece of flashing that's going to go down from here over this for watershed. Then my plywood will go on up over that, so it'll be like a waterfall, you know, shiplap effect, so I won't get any leaks. So once I get all these on, I can put the fascia trim on, or end wall trim I guess it's called. Put that on. All right, bam, there we go. Got all the panels on, and my screws I was looking for in the mail showed up, but a little bit of a disaster with the screws. Not too bad, but I'll show you. So the screws on the left are the new ones, and the screws on the right are the existing ones. You can see that the grays are two different grays. So I ended up with I don't know, about the last 1.5 roof panels, a little bit different color gray screws. But luckily I had some of these 2-inch screws. I got a whole bag of these. These are for putting the trim in, where you got to screw down through the you got to screw down through the ridge of the panel. So I'm gonna have to use, I got a whole bag of these, so I got extras. So I'm gonna have to use these to do my fascia and my trim where it's gonna show. And I've got some the side panels. I got the lower screws to put in. I'll have to use these 2-inch screws, which are gonna stick through the wood, maybe a 1/4 inch. But I'm gonna use these. Luckily I had, there goes another one. Oh, whatever. Luckily I had some, and you're not gonna see the different color screws up on the roof. I've got 500 of the different colored ones that I'm gonna use on the back roof. The main roof, you won't see it, you know, unless you got right up there on the panel and looked. But the porch is looking really nice. Let me show you the trim here on the front. So I got my my eave trim on here. I got that hanging off, and then I put a piece of fascia on. This is 6-inch fascia, and it goes up under there. And I've spaced some screws out. It doesn't take much to hold it on. I've gone every like 3rd rib, and I'm gonna put a screw in here. This has got a little drip edge on it here. You can see that. But I'm going to put a screw in it to suck this down. I don't know if you can see on the pole barn, it's probably far away, but I did that. I matched them up. So I'm going to run a screw on these and just kind of suck this down around. I don't want to leave it that loose. You can kind of see the wood under there. So I'm going to go ahead and hammer the fascia trim on, and then I'll show you the end trim that goes on the roof here. And pretty much this roof will be done, except for the flashing goes up there, which I'll put on last. And then we'll do the back roof. Okay, I got the front buttoned up. I got all my screws in my front fascia. I'm not going to put the side fascia on yet. I'm going to try and concentrate on the roof panels. So back here on the outside the rafter or trusses for this, I added my 2x6, and I've cut my 2x4s off with a Sawzall. I got to do the last couple, but this roof is going to be in 2 sections because it would be like 26-foot long panel, which they can make, but it would be really hard for me to handle by myself in the wind and stand it up and not have it get damaged. So I broke it in half. I'm doing 12'9" and then 14-foot. I'm starting with a 12'9" piece on the bottom, and then the 14-foot piece will get shiplap on top of that. So I've already marked up my first panel over here, and I'm gonna get it up on, get it squared up. I don't trust my edge here. The 2x6 has got a little bit of a bow to it. I mean, it should be pretty straight, but I'm gonna line it up with the back panel because we snapped the string line straight when we put this ledger board on, so this should be straight to the wall of the building. So I'm going to line it up. I'm going to have a 4-inch overhang on my panel so I can measure into that 2x6 and then eyeball the panel up. I'll do the same process. I'll put one on, put another one on, tag them together, see if it's square, and then eventually I'll have to switch over to the front piece to make sure that that is coming out all the way. But I'll just have to like sawtooth my way down through and fill this in. So here we go. Something must be a little bit off because I lined it up perfectly, measured 4 inches overhang on the thing, and I can see up the roof. It's wandering just a little bit, like the panel is twisted this way. So I don't want to get where I've got a big hole. I can make it up with a trim a little bit, but I've got to kind of cheat the difference. So I'm going to turn the panel just a little bit and just kind of like eyeball it up from back there from the roof line, try to get it looking like it's looking good. Maybe one of these rafters, maybe the tail's off like a 1/4 inch and it's throwing me off on the long dimension. So I gotta get the long dimension looking better than this little overhang back here. Okay, I fixed the 2 pieces. I actually had this bottom corner in because I cut the 2x4 purlin at an angle and I didn't realize it. So I straightened that out. It looks good now. It's nice and true with the roof and it's square down here at the bottom. So I got that dialed in. I went and I separated my metal. I pulled the 14 footers out from under the 12-foot 9, and since I've got 2 panels straight on the lower section, I'm going to go ahead and grab an upper one and put one on to make sure I'm good all the way up before I start running this bottom line across, so I don't have a problem. I've got these tacked down. I got to go to cruise night here in a little bit, so I'm going to just put this one on for now and make sure my thing's good, and I'll probably come back to another day and we'll finish out this roof in another day. Well, another day for you guys, same video. So I'm going to fight with this and get it up on there, then we'll see how it looks. Whoa! Stay. Well, that looks pretty true. It's right perfect on the front line, all the way up front. It follows the front of the line perfect. Seems to line up with that. It looks good. Sighting down the side of the roof, it looks good. My first two pieces of the lower are true, and the upper one appears to be true to them. So I think it looks pretty good. I think I'm confident that I got it lined up right. I think I'll mark out another lower one, put one more lower one on, and then like stagger it, do 3 lowers and 2 tops, and just work it staggered across, and then the last one will be the far corner top piece. But it looks good, and I'm going to throw some more screws in it before the wind blows it off. Or bam, check it out. This is the next day, the next evening actually, and I've just been working like I've been doing. I go one more on the bottom, then I jump up to the top piece here. I just added this one. We got one screw in it up here in the corner. Then I go down on the ladder, down where the hole is there, and I move the bottom over, and I bottom screw it, and then I do the ones I can reach from the ladder. And then later on, when I get done here tonight, I'll take half an hour, and I'll get up here and I'll walk up here and I'll put all the screws in down here. I got the upper piece in, standing on the gas station overhang right now. You can see here the metal comes right up to the edge. Then there'll be a trim piece that goes on here and wraps around and hangs over the front of this. And this will get some fake T111 style plywood that will be here. And I'm going to paint it, what do you call it, like fake patina to look like old barnwood. And then, but I'm going to have a lot of signs. I'm going to have a main sign up here in the center. And then I got 2 Goodyear signs that are going to go on one each side. So you won't see most of this plywood up here. So I'm just going to antique it a little bit behind there. And then before that goes on, there's some flashing that covers up this and comes up the end wall to get the rain. That will go under the plywood, so if the water comes down the plywood, it'll run on there, hit the flashing, and go on the roof. So I'll put that on last after I get all the metal done. But it's looking good. Got the seam in the center. These would have been a real bear to try to get a 26-foot piece up here. The 14-footers are a lot to handle just in the wind getting up there, but it looks good. It's coming together good, and yeah, hopefully here by the end of tonight or end of tomorrow night, I'll have this thing all decked out with the roof material. All right, bam, here we go. Check it out. It's all done except for the last panel because I haven't cut the overhang to the proper width yet, but everything else is on. You can see the seam up there, where the upper panel starts, or the lower panel. It's actually the next day. I worked last night until it was dark. I was out here screwing in the dark. That's what she said. And got this all done. Here the whole back roof is done, like I said, except for the edge over there. And I've got the fascia trim, the eave trim under the thing. I've got to wait to put the fascia on here because I've got some tongue and groove reclaimed boards that go on there, and put them on, then I can put the fascia on. But the roof looks awesome. It came out great. I got lucky. I got most of it on when it was like 70 degrees out. Now it's blazing hot again, like 85 and humid. But I guess if you want to be a real roofer, you got to work in the humidity and the blazing sun. That's when you know you're a real roofer. So I'm really happy with the way it came out. I'm just going to do a little bit of trimming around here. I'm going to show you a couple more pieces of trim, and then we'll finish out the video. Whew! I've been at it all day in the blazing sun again, working on trim. It takes longer to put the trim on than it does put all the metal on, for crying out loud. But I've got my my Denver gable trim on here. I got my soffit trim on. I'm waiting to put this back piece on when I put the boards across for the underhang, but I've added a piece of flashing here, and then it's going to step down an inch to cover up the tongue roof that's going on there. So I've got that done. Got the overhang all trimmed out here. We'll climb up on top here. I'll show you in a minute. But I've got that boxed around here and all notched over. I forgot to get my trim that makes the overhang up there on top when I did my order. So now I got to go all the way back down to the metal place and get a bunch of that, and I need one more bag of screws, so that turned out good. And you can see this trim here. This is the end wall trim that goes up. If you're putting metal siding on, it would go up under the metal siding, but I'm using fake T111 like Endurashine siding here, so I'm going to be cutting those pieces next. Now that I got this on, it'll go over this, so the water will shed down here and then shed off your end wall. And then up here on top, the plywood's going to be up under there. I've got to get a piece of J trim to make the water gap for there. I'll put a piece of J-trim across the top, and then my Denver, what do they call it, gable eave or whatever will go up and over and then make the top of that. So everything else is done. Screws, whoa, almost fell off the ladder. Hang on. Screws look good here. You can really see those screws I ordered online, the different color here. That's alright, you'll never see it. I've been using my 2-inch ones, which are the same ones I ordered, that are right down here. But I've got to get one more bag of screws to finish up everything there. But this looks mint. And look down this mint roof here. It's awesome. So that trim that goes up here on the gable end will be like 7 inches long, and it'll come up and it's gonna get a flash out here. I'll probably get the foam. They make a foam that's cut for the ridges to go in here to seal this up so rain can't blow up and snow can't blow up under here and get down on the wood. So I'll get that too. But the only thing I got left to do to finish up the roof is I've got to measure back 17.5 inches and cut these off, then add my 2x4s underneath here to finish out that. Then I can cut my last 2 pieces of metal and get them on, and then the roof will be complete. Well, you get the idea here what it's involved in putting this roof on and trim and stuff. I'm not like a metal roof expert, but I've done 3 buildings here at my house now, and I put a roof on my buddy's house too. Oh, actually a roof on my buddy's garage, my other friend's garage. And so I've done quite a bit of it, and I got some of the tricks down, but still make a couple of mistakes along the way. 1 or 2 screws I screwed up and screwed into a nail and had to move it and silicone the hole. But other than that, things came out pretty nice, and I did it myself and saved $8 billion in labor costs. But the material has gone up quite a bit. As everybody knows, the lumber is outrageous now. It's like 400% more than it used to be like a year ago. We won't say why that is, but I bet you can guess. And the metal is about 100% more than it was. So this building is outrageously expensive for what it is. But I'm not waiting. I wanted to get it done, so I'm out here building it. When I go bankrupt, you'll know why. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the roof here off camera. But I hope you got the idea. This is I'm glad I got it done, and it looks good. And then next time, I'm going to be working on building the office. But I might take a little breather, trying to recoup some of my savings a little bit, wait and see if lumber comes down just a little bit. I've got to buy some more stuff, but in the meantime, I got a bunch of little detail work I got to finish up here. So next time, whenever that's going to be here, we'll be building that office and getting this thing looking like a gas station on the front, and then we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again right here at the Quick Speed Shop.